see if this works.
Should work.
What is up with my screen?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, how are you? My name is Steve. I'm from Steve's Thoughts and Nerd Talk. Alongside with me is Brian J. from Brian J's Nerd Talk.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, having some technical difficulties here.
Oh, he's having technical difficulties. In the words of the wise, pay your damn electric bill.
No, there's something wrong with the camera on my iPad. It's like it wants me to rotate it upwards, and I'm like, why? I don't get that.
That's an Apple issue, unless your iPad's updated. But if you want, I'll send you the video.
Or no, I got this. I got this. I'll just use my cell phone again.
So while we're still setting up, I'm gonna give a little breakthrough of what's going on with a little brief rundown description. We're doing a video here today to discuss further in depth about the Activision Blizzard King merger with Xbox, Microsoft. You want to say it that way? The pros that come along with owning Activision Blizzard King, the cons that come along with owning Activision Blizzard King, and as well as everything in between, the creme de la creme, the crop de la crop, and all the merde with it as well.
Yeah.
And by the way, no, I did not curse within the first 30 or 45 seconds, so I'm still good for any other video of sponsorships and whatnot, all that, whatever, advertisements. So, one of the things that we do.
What's up, guys? We're alive. Guys, we're alive.
Don't do that.
I'm not doing the Vin Diesel thing. We're alive.
Don't do it.
We're live.
Don't do it. You do it.
We're live. Okay, I'm not gonna do it. But yeah. Hey guys, so I'm on. This is Steve. Steve's Thoughts Nerd Talk. This is Brian J's Nerd Talk, and we just want to say from the top, congratulations to Xbox, Phil Spencer, Microsoft for acquiring Activision Blizzard King. Congratulations, you guys did it. It took 22 months for them to acquire. They had to go through 22 months.
I think it was 22 months, a week, and 6 days.
They announced it in January or December of 2021. They announced it. And it didn't go through until October. They closed the deal last week. They didn't have to wait until today. They closed it last week when the CMA approved it. The CMA loved the changes that Microsoft made to the deal by giving all the cloud distribution rights of all Activision games to Ubisoft and Ubisoft Plus in the UK. And so the CMA looked at that and they're like, okay, that is consumerism. That's not trying to control the market in the free market and capitalism. They're giving everybody an opportunity to make money on everything, and the deal lasts for 15 years.
That's capitalism.
Right,
That's
but
capitalism.
yeah, I know.
Corporatism. You're referring to corporatism.
No. But what the CMA was saying is that they want Microsoft and Xbox to do things that are not corporatism, but that are is free, is capitalistic, is consumer friendly, capitalistic, and free market capitalism, and that's what they did. They gave Ubisoft a 15-year deal to have all Activision games on Ubisoft Plus and Ubisoft Cloud streaming, because cloud gaming and cloud streaming is huge in the UK. It's bigger in the UK than it is in America.
Well,
so
when it comes to anything, technologically anything, America's still behind. The only country that is so far more advanced than anyone in the world is Japan.
Japan and
just Japan.
Japan, but also South Korea. China, the UK as well.
Japan and South Korea.
In terms of cloud gaming, yeah. In terms of
cloud gaming, yes. Not China. China's mobile market wise.
They use mobile. They use a lot of cloud gaming.
Really?
Okay,
yeah. Whatever. I'll look into that.
They're just not as. It's not as massive as it is in the UK, but it's getting there. And so America is going to be catching up. But
America slowly, well, within good reason of time now, slowly catching up to Japan on internet speed.
Yeah.
Not even catching up. We're just trailing behind them now.
Right. And look, I'm not an Xbox shill. I love my PlayStation 5. I'm glad that Jim Ryan is gone. In fact, that was expected. You predicted that back in June.
I told
that Jim Ryan was going to be gone.
You
predicted that.
Ladies and gentlemen.
He told me. He predicted that accurately.
I will need to add this into my video's description and everything. But I'm the one in June. No.
June.
Late May, early June.
June. Specifically June.
Okay, June. I told you, Jim Ryan is going to try his hardest to block this. It's going to fail, and he's going to be fired.
Yeah, because
the comment that he made about him retiring is a smokescreen to not go out.
It's something he said for the press.
Yes, it's to not tank the Sony stock.
Yeah, and also it was expected because his arguments in court and the arguments from Sony and the FTC were terrible arguments. They also had eyewitnesses that testified against them that didn't even make them look good. It actually made Xbox look good. There was nothing about what Xbox and Microsoft was doing was anti-consumer. And even if it was, Microsoft, Phil Spencer, and Xbox have never said anything but. They've never tried to pretend that they're pro-consumer. They never tried to pretend that they weren't trying to compete in the market and weren't trying to have a huge leg in the gaming world, in the console wars, in the gaming wars. They said that they want to have a foothold and they want to compete. They never said that they didn't. And Sony, the reason why the argument failed is because they were playing the victim. They were trying to tell the judge, a Biden-appointed judge, by the way, they were trying to tell the judge that what Microsoft was doing with Sony was terrible because it was happening to Sony and not the other way around. And that's what the judge was pointing out. She was like, okay, so Sony has been doing this for the last 5-6 years, and it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't anti-consumer. It wasn't anything bad when you guys were doing it. But once it starts happening to you, now it's suddenly a bad thing. And that was the problem.
I want to say this.
That was the problem with the argument.
I want to say this. Under Jim Ryan's leadership as CEO, 4 years, some months in, a couple weeks, a week or a couple days. And under his leadership, Sony had gone full anti-consumer, full blown anti-consumer
for the last 4 years.
For the last 4 years,
it got worse.
Jim Ryan's
It got
leadership.
worse. Yeah, with the microtransactions. Destiny 2 is the best example of this. That game became microtransaction hell. But go ahead.
Destiny 2 is the example of a mobile game when you open it up and it's nothing but bombardments of
microtransactions.
Buy this. It's like,
yeah.
Oh, damn.
It's like, wait, I thought this was free to download. I just spent $140. It's just.
I'm glad. I know that there is an
in-game currency.
I know that there's not diehard, but I know there is a very loyal, committed, following fan base for Destiny,
and that's good.
And I'm happy that they like the game, and I'm happy that they enjoy it. I, from Destiny 1, dropped out of interest of it because it felt more like a chore than anything.
And Microsoft does the same thing, but here's the thing. Microsoft isn't trying to do the same thing for all of their studios. They're not forcing Bethesda to make a live service microtransaction game, even though Bethesda already did that with Fallout 76.
Fallout 76.
The Fallout mobile game?
No.
Skyrim?
The
Elder Scrolls?
Elder Scrolls Online.
Online. And also they did it with a Fallout mobile game where it's like complete microtransaction hell. But that's the thing. They were already doing that. Microsoft didn't make them do that. And Microsoft's greedy microtransactions with Halo Infinite is really fucking annoying. But it's not as bad as what goes on with Destiny 2.
Listen. It's not.
I mean, the shit that you buy on Halo Infinite used to be free when you had Halo 1, 2, and 3 with Bungie 15 years ago.
Yes.
You know?
No, but I'm going to say this. It's not to say it's not bad. It's okay. No. When it
It's
comes to
all bad.
microtransactions, no matter what, are horrid, poor
They're all bad across the
mindset of how can I nickel and dime you?
Yeah, they're all bad across the board.
They're all bad, no matter what game, what genre, what franchise. Only is that with Halo Infinite, it's not blatantly popping up on your screen every 4 seconds when you close it.
And if you buy a battle pass, you just buy the battle pass. You don't have to buy anything else. In fact, buying a new skin doesn't make your character better. If you're already great in the game, you're just great in the game.
If you suck at the game and you have a new skin, well, congratulations, you have a new skin, but you still suck.
Yeah, it's still free to download on Game Pass. You can the multiplayer is free. And if you want to buy a new battle pass, you just gotta spend $10 for $10 for a couple in-game currency to buy the battle pass. That's all you got to do.
Yep. And mind you, it's not the end of the world. And I'm not trying to say Microsoft is going to be the angel in the crop, and I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
Yeah, they're not.
They want to make their money back somehow.
But they're not hypocrites. They're not being hypocrites.
They're not hypocritical.
Sony was being hypocritical in court, and the judge knew that. And there's no excuse because the Democrats and Joe Biden did not want the acquisition to go through. And it happened anyway, even with a Biden-appointed judge, because she was like, Sony and the FTC are making hypocritical arguments, and they're not making any good arguments at all. Specifically,
from what I've heard during that whole trial was that Sony had I don't recall if it was expert or if it was some specialist who was talking, and however them talking spent a good hour or so. That they annoyed the judge. And,
yeah, they did.
And one thing
she got annoyed when they tried to somehow make Phil Spencer confess to something and be dishonest and lie under oath. Oh, yeah. They were like, can you swear? Do you swear that Call of Duty will be on the PlayStation for 10 years? He's like, yeah, I swear. He's like, do you swear on the Bible? And Phil Spencer's an atheist. But he was like, okay, I swear on the Bible.
Listen.
It was so funny.
I'm appalled at the fact that they basically prove an atheist to swear on the Bible.
It was so funny.
One, I believe in God. That's my thing. That's not a huge statement. Two, you're not supposed to swear, let alone on the Bible. Society is back.
No, it's optional in a court of law. You could swear on the Bible if you want. If you're secular and atheist, you don't have to swear on the Bible. And some courts don't make it mandatory at all. But the fact that Sony made him do that and he just did it just because when he didn't have to, he was like, sure. And that's why the judge was like, and that's why the judge was like, okay, he's sworn a million times on whatever. I mean, they could have brought out like 5 holy textbooks. He would have sworn on them. And the judge was like, stop.
They could have brought like all the 12 commandments. And he would have sworn
they could have brought in the Torah, the Tanakh. They could have brought in the New
Quran.
Testament, the whole Bible, the Quran. They could have brought in the religious texts of China, Japan, India.
Well, China doesn't have a religion, so.
No. But they do have religious texts. But I'm saying they could have done that, right? And the judge would have been like, come on, y'all. What are y'all doing?
Anyways,
stop.
Anyways. As somebody who served on jury duty, I will say this. And this is not some insider information. This is a known fact. Do not annoy the judge. Do not anger the judge. And most of all, do not piss the judge off.
And I loved her closing statement when she ruled in Microsoft Xbox's favor, where she said, look, I mean, big corporations like Microsoft controlling the capitalist market and buying up publishers and companies is not a great thing. It could lead to a dark path. But you got to make a better argument than what Sony and the FTC were making. So I got to rule in Microsoft's favor. Phil Spencer made the better argument. Sorry. I mean, if you don't want big tech to control everything, find a better argument and a better loophole than saying, oh, well, they're doing it to me, so it sucks. It's like you were doing the same thing for 5 years. Specifically under Jim Ryan. And Jim Ryan, and I really started to agree with you that Jim Ryan was going to be gone by July when the personal income and finances for Sony got leaked.
I told you.
That was crazy.
When we were talking about it, I told you, he's going to be fired.
That was crazy.
Because that's not only a breach of corporate information and corporate confidentiality, let alone client confidentiality, let alone business confidentiality.
It was insane.
That's a rule. Those are rules you don't break in Japan.
Yeah,
and Japan is very, very strict on a lot of things.
And they showed that Horizon for Forbidden West costs over $210 million or $220 million. They made their money back in like a year. But and The Last of Us Part 2 cost $210 million around there. They also made their money back. But it doesn't matter that those games are profitable and made their money back. The fact is, you shouldn't have your personal information out there like that, and then it being accidentally shown and leaked. It's just so stupid.
Listen, it's like
so
this. It's not like revealing your taxes. Oh, it's good. It's trying to get used to the braces without the wire, because they took the wire off certain areas.
But you're saying it's not like being open and honest about your tax filings.
No, it's not.
By law, you're supposed to.
Yes, it's not like that. It's basically going into your neighbor's house and looking through their entire web browsing history for all the personal information, confidentiality,
looking at their diaries and everything. Yeah.
Yes, which is a legal felony.
Yeah.
Felony, not a misdemeanor. It's a felony. And on top of it,
it's screwed up.
And this is on a corporate level. This is basically one of the things in business you don't do. And I don't go to business school. I don't go to business management. I have friends that do it. I have friends that are in those positions. And they tell me there are things they can and cannot talk about openly, let alone behind closed doors. Yeah. There are things they cannot talk about.
And the problem with Jim Ryan was he was trying to make every one of their studios make a live service game with tons of microtransactions. And I'm glad he's gone. But, of course, he's replaced by a guy who loves mobile game and microtransactions. So.
No. He's interim. He's only there.
Well, I know he's interim, but still, like, his mentality isn't good either. And the great thing about Phil Spencer and Microsoft is that it's a balance. Some of their games are microtransactions, live services. A lot of their games are not. Bethesda, they didn't do that with Starfield. There's no in-game currency or microtransactions.
Oh, I'm enjoying Starfield. Yeah. I've been hearing people say that Starfield is overrated. And
it's really good. I do think it's Bethesda. It's not as great as their games they came out from 2006 to 2011. It's not as great as Oblivion or Fallout 3 or Skyrim, but it's a really, really good game.
I want to say this is.
I'm not loving it as much as Baldur's Gate 3. If Baldur's Gate 3 did not come out around the same time, I would probably love Starfield a lot more because Baldur's Gate 3 is a fucking masterpiece. That game is incredible.
Studios really
knocked it out of the park. Are you playing it?
I have yet to get it.
Oh, you gotta get it for the PS5.
I'll get it for the Xbox.
Well, it's not coming for the Xbox until next year.
Oh yeah, that's true. Never
Yeah,
mind.
so get
I
for
gotta
PS5.
PS5.
Yeah.
Fuck it, damn it! I
It's great
hate
though.
that damn thing.
It's great. It works well
I
with
despise.
PS5.
I despise.
I heard it's better on PC because that's what it was originally made for, but it's great on the PS5. You got a PC.
No. My sister plays it on PC, so I just watch her play it. It's actually really interesting.
You should play. Make your own character.
I don't want to override her save, so
Yeah, but well, you're not going to override your save because when you start a new character, you get your own saves, your own section.
Oh, really?
That's what's so great about it, because I got 2 playthroughs going on. I got my first playthrough. I'm in Lower City and Baldur's Gate on Act 3, and I got my other character who was on Act 1 who just killed the goblins again. But yeah, I got 2 different playthroughs, and I'm making different choices and decisions just to see where things go. It's really great.
Well, if I get the chance, because I know she works, she's working, so I don't really get a chance to go to her computer, and I have no intention of going into her room.
Right. Okay, that's fine. But Microsoft they also didn't do that with the studio that made Wulong, that also made Nier, the tough games that came out for Sony.
Nier?
Not Nier.
That's Crystal Dynamics, no?
No, not Crystal Dynamics. It's
No, it's a Japanese studio.
that made Wulong and made the other game. No, I'm looking them up right now.
All right. Well, I don't like being wrong, though. If you find the name, do let me know.
I got it. Wulong.
It would be WU. Wolong or Wulong? WU is Wu.
There we go.
Wulong.
Wulong Fallen Dynasty.
Oh,
Team Ninja.
Team
Ninja. That's right.
Ninja.
Yeah, they're not making them do a live service game.
No, Team Ninja. See, when it comes to Team Ninja has always knocked it out of the park with a lot of their games. With most of their games, I would say.
They made Ninja Gaiden, which I love.
I would love to see a new Ninja Gaiden installment, a M-rated freaking Ninja Gaiden, not that Ninja Gaiden 3 PG version. That was such a...
I did love Dead or Alive. Dead or Alive was a lot of fun.
I
knew they were going to get backlash for that, though.
No, they got a lot of backlash for the censorship.
I mean, the recent Dead or Alive,
and a lot of the other.
No, they got backlash for their depictions of women, which is so over the top and nuts. But they did tone some of it down while still showing the women looking hot in Dead or Alive 6. That was fine. Okay, Neo. That's what it's called, Neo.
Neo 2.
Yeah, I got both of those games up for the PlayStation 4.
See, when it comes to Team Ninja is great, and I'm glad that Microsoft owns them now. Right? Microsoft owns them?
Yeah,
No.
I don't think so. No.
That would be Koei Tecmo. I believe it's Koei Tecmo.
But they work with Microsoft and
Yes.
they put Wulong on the Game Pass, and I got it on Game Pass, even though I'm trying to play for my PlayStation 5. But they got Wulong Fallen Dynasty on Game Pass, Xbox One and Xbox Series X. But their next game, Rise of the Ronin, will be a PlayStation 5 exclusive. Right. Okay.
It makes sense. PlayStation is notorious for story-driven cinematic type games.
Yeah.
That's basically all their exclusives are.
Yeah, and they need to kind of get back to that mentality instead of trying to make everybody do a live service game. I mean, The Last of Us.
I would prefer if they go back.
The Last of Us multiplayer.
No, I would prefer if they go back to Sean Layden, where you have the variety of games.
Yeah,
even if that game doesn't do box office $10 million,
yeah.
it does make its money back.
Yeah, even if it doesn't sell 10 million copies, just
as long as it makes its money, money back, or at least more than half of its money back, that's more than enough.
Sean Layden.
There are markets for all kinds of genres.
As long as the game's not too expensive.
Yeah. And let alone it's riddled with microtransactions or it's that same old generic story-driven cinematic movie style-esque RPG.
Yeah, and it'd be cool if Sean Layden came back. Maybe he could open up Sony Japan again, but that's up to Sony in Japan, because Sony in Japan was fine with Jim Ryan shutting it down. So Sean Layden would have to convince the Japanese executives in Japan. Would it be a good business incentive to reopen Sony Japan?
Well, I am not a diehard consumer sycophant or any of that for either console. If you want to know which console I will support, PC Master Race. No, but your games are made on PC.
PC Master Race. PC Master Race. PC Master Race.
Get to the hard
drive. Let's get PC Master Race.
To the hard drive. Anyways, no.
Okay.
No.
Anyways, but
I believe there is a benefit to opening up Sony Japan
And I got a lot of love for PC gaming as it is. It's the original form of gaming. The first video game ever created was created on a military base on a computer.
It was Pong, right?
No, it was a video game where you just fly in space and kill aliens.
Oh, is that one with the prisms?
It was made in 1967 or 68 on a military base. That was the first video game.
I'm trying to remember the name of it.
And it was on a computer. It was on a PC. It was made on a military base.
I think it might be before my time, so I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't recall this.
They put it in the documentary called the video game documentary.
You know what's gonna be funny is Call of Duty is gonna end up as a military simulator. And they're gonna recruit people based on their.
They kind of are. I mean, in a way, they kind of are.
All right. Oh, you like Call of Duty? You like shooting guns? Here, join the military. I would not join it right now. It's a mess. It's disgusting. It's horrible, sad.
But yeah, Call of Duty was the big thing. But Call of Duty will be on the PlayStation 5. And Phil Spencer was a man of his word. He said all this stuff that you're going to get playing Call of Duty on Xbox, you're going to get on Sony on the PlayStation 5. And he also said PlayStation gamers, Sony gamers, you could come to Xbox as well and play Call of Duty and play whatever you want.
You know, I'm going to be honest. Jim Ryan's festered obsession with blocking the deal only for Call of Duty being the only argument screwed PlayStation gamers over as a whole.
A lot of Sony ponies are fucking annoying. Oh yeah.
God.
Oh yeah.
What is that?
Absolutely pathetic.
Dreamcast guy being one of those guys. And,
but I don't even consider Dreamcast guy to be a Sony pony because Dreamcast guy at least criticizes Sony when it's definitely warranted, and he does criticize Sony in their choices. But he's very much anti-Xbox and Phil Spencer, and that's why he comes across as a Sony pony. There are actual Sony ponies that are more pathetic.
Listen, that's coming from a leftist. That's a political line. Leftist. The left, like the guy that's way over there, somewhere along the lines of, we want this.
I mean, it's
socialism, free choice, free money.
That's nothing to do
with video games. Anyway.
Video games, but
no. That Atomic Heart.
If Sony's gonna screw up and make bad decisions, they should get criticized for it. Yeah. But Sony ponies are just so pathetic because these guys were so gung-ho about God of War Ragnarok winning Game of the Year over Elden Ring, and they quit playing Elden Ring after 4 hours because they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. And so when Elden Ring won Game of the Year, they were just completely butthurt. They're like, oh, this shit's rigged. It's rigged. It's just. I'm like, well, Elden Ring won Game of the Year almost across the board. Everybody.
There were like three things that they
didn't
win.
It was like four major. GDC, the other Game Award that happens in November, the Game Awards, and the New York Game Awards as well. So there's New York Game Awards, GDC, the Game Awards, Golden Joystick Award, and they won Game of the Year the same night that the Golden Joystick Awards gave the best video game of all time to Dark Souls, which is a game they didn't even nominate in 2011. They didn't nominate Dark Souls for anything in 2011.
The New York Game Awards is slow. Keep that in mind.
No, the Golden Joystick Awards. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, the Golden Joystick Awards never nominated Dark Souls back in 2011 because they were so focused on other games. But then 11 years later, they gave best game of the century, best game of all time to Dark Souls 1.
You know, there's something ironic and poetic about karma. It'll never happen. Xbox has no games. Well, now they have all sorts of games. What does PlayStation have?
Yeah, but the problem is that Activision Blizzard needs to get their management in order because Blizzard's fucking up. Diablo 4 was a clusterfuck. It's gotten worse and worse with each update, and they've lost their player base.
What I believe is Phil Spencer, Matt
High Score.
Boogie,
That's the documentary.
and Matt Taibbi should do. High Score. Is what they should do is they should really get rid of every single Activision soup from Blizzard and all Blizzard management.
Well, they got rid of Bobby Kotick, but even Bobby Kotick, they told him to stay on until January 1st, just to make the transition a little bit smoother.
Yeah, it makes sense on an economic front.
Yeah, and they got to do the transition.
And not only that, they need to make everything not only visually, but they need to make sure everything holds as they said.
Yeah, and they need the CEO who's running the company to do the transition from Activision over to Xbox, and Activision games, a lot of them are not coming to Game Pass until 2024, which Phil Spencer made that crystal clear. He made that completely clear. Yeah,
he made that clear. He said because of the whole 22 months of the whole legal thing, they never really had a chance to work with them on getting the stuff ready to transition over.
Well, yeah,
because of that.
Yeah,
It's also
because they're busy battling in court.
Yeah,
doing all that. Yeah,
mind you, there's no court is not something anybody wants to go to, and I'm not gonna wish that on anybody.
They had to do testifying. Phil Spencer had to
documents,
ask questions. He had to do this,
provide evidence, do discovery,
swear on Bibles and religious texts.
Listen, as a Christian, as a believer of God, that's upsetting. That's upsetting. You got to swear on the Bible. Like, I can't swear on the Bible. I can't promise you. I can't swear. I give you my word. That much I can.
It was just too funny. I was like, oh my gosh, man. Sony really fucked up. Sony really fucked up.
I'm glad that Jim Ryan is gone. I'm happy for Sony. I'm happy for Sony gamers, consumers, players.
And I'm happy that Naughty Dog's multiplayer The Last of Us is getting shut down because I was looking forward to it. But when I heard that Jim Ryan wanted to turn into a live service microtransaction hell, like what's going on with Destiny 2, I'm like, that's just going to ruin. Like Naughty Dog The Last of Us Part 2, I think it's a fantastic game, but that game was very polarizing. So Naughty Dog can't afford to have even more controversy on top of the fact that they released The Last of Us Part 1, which is great on the PlayStation 5, but it's way more expensive without the multiplayer. And then they came out The Last of Us Part 1 on PC, which is the worst PC port I have ever witnessed in my life from Sony, ever, from going from a console to PC. And so Naughty Dog can't afford more controversy and more backlash.
And if Naughty Dog has more negative press, more negative PR,
it's not gonna make them look good.
They're gonna be ridiculed as one of Sony's worst studios.
Yeah, or at least one of their most disappointing. And it also doesn't help that The Last of Us Part 2, which is a polarizing game, is being adapted into.
Am I allowed to have that information on playing?
No, go ahead. Whatever. But and to make things worse, for them,
get them, crew, get them.
Yeah, but the worst thing for them is that they're also adapting their most controversial and polarizing game in The Last of Us Part 2 over the span of 2 seasons. So they're going to get just as much backlash for season 2 and season 3 when that show comes back. Mm-hmm. Because that story was polarizing. I thought it was brilliant. Other people didn't. And who knows how a television audience is really going to react,
Not only that, I want to do a video, but for another time. When it comes to gaming,
we're talking about Snow White next video.
Yeah, it's not. But I want to do a video about streaming services after. Not today, but maybe another time.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to gaming, Sony has really boxed himself into a very, very tight position.
Yeah.
Their games are only one-hit blockbuster deals.
Yeah.
So you play them once. What's the point of playing them again? You already finished the story.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't gone back to God of War Ragnarok. I go back to Elden Ring every month or two. And I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3. Like, I took a break the last couple of weeks because I had a book that I needed to finish reading, but I still go back to Baldur's Gate 3.
No, but this is the thing. When the argument that I've seen online on social media, on a lot of YouTube comments, on a lot of videos, whether it's pro Xbox, pro PlayStation, or just consumer friendly in general, nonetheless, you have people saying Xbox has no games. They bought Activision Blizzard King with every single studio, developer,
and tons of games
and IPs that is owned by Activision Blizzard King.
And they're going to bring back IP and properties that have been dormant, like
Guitar Hero.
Guitar Hero, they're bringing back. They'll probably bring back Portal. What's the other one? Not Portal. It's the other one.
No, they might bring back Portal.
They might bring back Portal. But what was the one called Crisis?
Right.
They might bring back Crisis
Dino
too.
Crisis?
No, it's called Crisis.
Crisis? Time Crisis?
It's just called Crisis. It's Crisis with a Y.
No, that's what's the name of that game? What's the name of the studio? There's Crisis 1, Crysis. It's about the nano suit, right?
Yeah.
No, that's
Crisis.
No, CRY, not CH.
I know. They're gonna correct me anyway. Typo, whatever. Yeah, they got remastered and re-released.
Yes, but that's not Activision.
That's not Activision? Oh, it's Electronic Arts.
That's Crytek.
Oh, that's Electronic Arts. Okay, so but that can still come back to it.
I would like Microsoft to buy a lot of IPs from Electronic Arts.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind them doing that too.
I wouldn't mind them buying.
I wouldn't mind Microsoft
making IPs. Yeah. Listen.
Yeah, they can make a first-person shooter video game part of Star Wars. I would love them to do that.
For anyone that's wondering why I would want Microsoft to buy certain things from Electronic Arts, Disney would do a whole lot worse.
Yeah, I agree, and I think Microsoft would do a really good first-person shooter for Star Wars. Remember that first-person shooter they almost came out with in the late 2000s? It was supposed to be like influenced by Call of Duty, and it got canceled.
Oh, you're talking about 1313?
Yeah, no, it wasn't 1313. It was the other one.
Third person.
No, it was first person.
No.
1313 is third person. The game I'm talking about was a first-person shooter that was influenced by Call of Duty. That could have been awesome, and I think Microsoft would do a great job.
The problem is,
and now that they got Infinity Ward can fucking do that.
Yeah,
they can totally do that. In fact, they can do a battle royale, first-person shooter, Star Wars game. That's free to download.
Everyone is either a clone trooper, a battle droid, a stormtrooper, or a rebel soldier.
And Warzone 2 is finally starting to get better, even though they had a disastrous launch last year. Warzone 2 was a fucking.
But you know
what a broken game.
You know why I think Microsoft is more committed to providing video game content? They're willing to go back and fix servers for older games. I played Modern Warfare 2, the original, the OG Modern Warfare 2, where you were able to talk shit. You were able to. Oh, I probably cursed. I should probably do that.
They brought that back.
Talk a lot more smack, a lot of disrespectful. You could say a whole bunch of inconsiderate, unkind, racially angry-driven.
Which is why they shut all that down, but you could still do it. So for Modern Warfare 2, they open up the servers again.
That thing's populated.
Yeah, it's very populated. You can play it. You can play it every day. But what's so funny about Modern Warfare 2 from 2009 is that they got the COD lobbies back. And I did well in this one game where I got like 26 kills and maybe like 10 deaths. And I kept killing this guy over and over again. And when we got into the lobby, he called me the N-word. And I was like, yeah, nostalgia. This is bringing back memories of 2009. It was so funny.
I'm sure that guy was funny.
That guy was salty as fuck, yo. He was calling me every racial slur in the book because I killed him a million times. His team was trash.
You said 26 kills.
I had 26 kills.
You didn't kill him a million times. You got 26 kills.
Oh yeah, right. I mean, I'm not.
Metaphorically,
I don't mean literally.
I know.
I'm just. It's a figure of speech.
Logic.
I killed that guy so many times. I killed that whole team, and we won by I don't know how many points, but it was great. It was like nostalgia. It was awesome. It was pretty wild.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and Halo Infinite is finally making a comeback because they did a new update for Season 5 of Halo Infinite, and it's got a huge player base again, and everybody's playing it, having a good time. So that's good for Microsoft, and Microsoft is making a big comeback this year.
I'm really glad Microsoft has cleaned house to fix 343i, because the leadership that they had there was just horrible. And
yeah, they got rid of a lot of people.
Like I'm hoping that Xbox leadership, Phil Spencer and crew, are able to do the same thing with Activision, Blizzard, and clean house from all the problems and all those responsible.
They got rid of Kiki Wolfkill too, who I like as a producer, but her running Halo was just terrible. Like, I'm sorry, I know she likes Halo, but a lot of the creative stuff she was doing were just not good for the franchise. It just wasn't good at all. Like showing Master Chief and his ass cheeks in the TV show. People were calling him Master Cheeks. Like, why are you doing this?
The fact that he removed his helmet in the first episode and every episode after.
He takes off his helmet in almost every episode, and he's showing his ass cheeks. Like, why are you showing your cheeks? What is with the cheeks? They were calling him Master Cheeks.
I'm glad they took her off because her view of Halo was just not what the franchise is.
It was very much overly female gazy and not in a good way.
It was also very childish. And
the writing was shit in that show.
I told you it was shit, and now you're saying it's shit.
I saw the whole show. I liked the first episode. I liked episode 5 and 6, and then episode 7 was terrible, and episode 8 was a little bit better, but still a mess. But episode 9 was fucking terrible. It had a terrible ending, and it was a very disappointing, mediocre show that did nothing for the franchise at all.
Listen.
It did nothing for the franchise.
I saw episode 1, and the first thing that came to mind was, what the fuck is this shit? What is this steaming hot pile of pieces that I'm looking at?
And but also the problem with Halo and the difference between that and the Last of Us series. What made the Last of Us season 1 such a masterpiece? I don't know, but I want to say this. We are talking about games. But the Last of Us season 1 was such a masterpiece because Craig Mazin, who was the showrunner and co-creator with Neil Druckmann, he made the first game the Bible for the first season. And that's why the first season was so great, because it was a faithful adaptation to the game while making some changes for the better. And some changes weren't great, but overall the changes were really great. And it was very much faithful to the video game. And that's what made it so great. The problem with the Halo series is that none of the writers and people working on the show played Halo and don't even really like the game. And they're trying to
let alone the books.
They're trying to make Halo for people that don't like Halo so that Halo could be more successful. But that's missing the point. It's so stupid. It was just fucking stupid.
This is why, and I'm gonna stray away from games for a moment just to say this, and I don't want you commenting on it until we do another video. This is why I'm glad a lot of writers were let go and fired during the strike, because a lot of these people could not write for the shit of their lives. Anyways, back to games. I'm excited for Microsoft bringing back a lot of these IPs because there's so many to bring back. Transformers, for instance. Activision Transformers.
Wait, that was dormant?
Yes. The War for Cybertron and all that.
So there hasn't been a Transformers game in a long time.
Unless you
I didn't know that. Okay. That's cool.
No, I hope they bring back the server so that anybody who owns the game goes back right onto it.
I hope that happens. You know what else I hope happens? I hope From Software is given the rights to do a Gundam game and do it like Armored Core. That'd be awesome. That would be great.
No,
I would love that.
I would
imagine a Gundam, a Mobile Suit Gundam game that is super tough and competitive and will just drive you up a wall, make you want to break your computer as you're playing it. I would love that.
I would like that.
However, I want a frustrating game.
However, as much as I would like that, Bandai Namco, I don't think Bandai Namco would let that go.
No, they're not going to do that because they want to make a lot of money in terms of sales on a Gundam game. But because From Software is such a household name now, they can sell a lot of copies. Armored Core 6 is successful. Elden Ring is the biggest success Bandai has ever had from Software. So they could give them a Gundam game. I would love that. I would love to play a hard, tough Gundam game by From Software.
Listen, all I'm going to say is that when it comes to this whole acquisition, this whole merger that's going on with Activision, Blizzard, King, and Microsoft has now reached a power level so high it's over 9,000. For anyone that wants to get that, for anyone that
over 9,000.
Anyways, the point is
Dragon Ball Z.
That
the reference to Dragon Ball Z.
Yes. So
anybody who doesn't know,
in case you don't
know, it's Dragon Ball Z.
Vegeta. No, it's Nappa telling Vegeta, what's his power level?
Yeah, and then Vegeta analyzes Goku's power level, says it's over 9,000. Breaks the fucking thing.
Nappa's like, what 9,000? That can't be right.
Yeah, that's it.
Nappa went out the freaking most dirtiest way. All because Vegeta has a fucking ego pride problem.
Can you blame him? The dude got his ass handed to him.
Yeah, friendly fire.
Vegeta, that guy was dead. That guy was broken. He had his spine basically broken. He is completely useless. He had to go. I don't blame Vegeta at all. It was the only decision he was going to make. He can't keep that guy around.
I don't know. For the Prince of Saiyans, he killed his own Saiyans. Anyways. I'm very much excited for what possibility of IPs that Xbox wants to reincarnate and rebirth into the modern world.
Yeah, I agree.
A modern Guitar Hero, and if you can connect your own guitar, that'd be dope.
Yeah, Guitar Hero was huge in the 2000s. Absolutely, it was huge.
DJ Hero did well, but it wasn't the same.
And to Nintendo fans, they get Call of Duty back on a Nintendo console. So good for you guys. You guys get Call of Duty for the next 10 years. I mean, good for them.
Well, now you get to get angry about your Joy-Con strip. Yeah. Well, the reason.
Yeah, and also Infinity Ward and Activision, they've been struggling with Call of Duty because they've been trying to get a new Call of Duty out every single year. They couldn't do it this year. So the expansion and DLC for Modern Warfare 2 got turned into Modern Warfare 3. Yeah. Actually, let me look that up. I want to.
No,
I want to see what that was all about.
I think that might have been expansion DLC, but it might also have been that they worked on it more because other content that they added to it. Maybe half of Modern Warfare 2 was Modern Warfare 3 included. No, this is glorious.
They didn't expect it to get. Well, they didn't have a new game coming out. That was the problem. They didn't have a new game coming out. That was the problem. Modern Warfare 3.
That's not even what you're typing. Just put MW3. This man's making it a little extra to go with typing and everything. It's like,
Yeah, that's funny. Oh, okay. So, yeah, see, everyone's saying the same thing. And they kind of push back on the rumors. Yeah, that's basically what it is. They can deny it all they want, but that's kind of what it is. But yeah. Okay. What else are we going to talk about?
Regardless. I just want to say that now Activision Blizzard Studios are able to work on games, and Phil Spencer did an interview on a podcast. He said that they want the developers to actually be able to work on the games that they want to work on. They don't have to be afraid of failure, and it's just work on them, be creative about it. And I'm wondering if the Call of Duty franchise is going to start taking maybe a few years in between development. I don't mind if Call of Duty is like every 3-4 years. It would allow the developers to work on a whole bunch of other things and be able to actually be creative once again, to enjoy their passion of being a game developer.
Yeah. And Microsoft also needs to be a bit more hands-on. Don't crunch their workers. Make sure they're working good hours and staying healthy and staying mentally ready and mentally well
that's
to get the games out, to get them released.
That's the thing. When it comes to Microsoft, the work atmosphere is supposedly one of the best in the
Except
business.
for 343 Studios.
No,
343 Studios was the most mismanaged working environment.
Well,
ever.
343 had horrible management, so I want to say it was their fault. But at the same time, I'm like,
we don't know. I mean,
we don't know.
We can blame Microsoft too, but it's like I think 343 was like an exception. A major exception in comparison to like a lot of Microsoft studios. Like Microsoft needs to get their house in order, but like 343 was like a very special case of being an awful game studio, being one of the worst. But you want to end it here?
I think we're going
to end the next video. Okay.
I think we're going to end it here so we can work on our next video.
Yeah, we're going to work on the next video. We're going to be talking about Snow White next, and we're just going to end it here for right now. Move on to the next topic. So we'll see you in a bit.
We'll see you momentarily again. My name is Steve. This is Steve Stone.
Ryan J. Star Talk. We'll be up in a bit.
We'll be back.
We'll be back
after these consumer-friendly break commercials.
Right. Consumer-friendly.